Hello, this is Lori. Today I am going to show you how to turn a doodly template like this one in the top left into a colored template on the top right, and then how to take that and make a layout like this one right here using a kit to fill everything in. And I'm doing this with Artisan 5. It's really easy, it's not super time consuming, and it will open up your eyes to all of the cool things that you can do with these doodles, all of these different cool doodles that are out there now. So we're going to use this template right here, and this is a set from Yurko called Doodly Doo, and it's her second set of doodle templates, and we're going to color these leaves. And I love doing this to be able to match any kit that we want. And I actually have not picked a kit yet, so I'll do that after we color it in so that I can show you exactly how we'll do it. To begin with, I go ahead and take everything else that's overlying those doodles, and I'm just going to group those together. Then I am going to come over here to the left-hand side and hide them to get them right out of our way. Now you can see that there's a layer here with the doodle, and then the background paper is underneath it. What I do first is I take both of those separate layers and I am going to copy those, and then I am going to paste those so that we have two sets. I'll take both of those layers and bring them down so that they align with the layers that are there. And then I'm going to take those two layers again that I just copied, and at this point I will flatten them. Now once I flatten those, I am going to start using my wand to cut. Now, just a comment about this particular one. Let me pull it back over so that you can take a look in just a moment. With this one, since those doodles ended at the edges, the first thing I had to do, let me just get down to that layer, I also had to add a stroke. So I came over to stroke, and I just put a small stroke on it right there, and then I flattened the whole thing together. So I flattened it, and the reason for that is if I didn't, when I do my cutting, it's not going to take just what's within the black lines, because those black lines didn't go where there was no stroke. Let me take the stroke back off and zoom this up just so you can see exactly what I mean. So see how these lines don't have an ending? So sometimes when I cut that, it wasn't exactly where it needed to be. Now this template doesn't go right to the edge, so I don't have to put a stroke on anything. Okay, so here's our top layer. Here's our layer that's flattened with the background, and there's the background. And I am going to hide this top layer to get it out of the way, and I don't care about the background, it doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that I'm always working on this flattened one. Now to do this, all I'm going to do is go to Cut and Wand, and over here I'm going to make sure I only have Adjacent selected. Now that Adjacent is going to be what allows me to cut inside each one as I want. If this design is too small, you can certainly come down and zoom it up to make it bigger. You'll just have to scroll around the screen to make sure you select everything that you want. So with Adjacent selected, I'm going to click inside each one of the areas that I want to be the same color. So since these areas right here and then on each one of the leaves, I want to be the same color, I'm going to go do all 4 of the leaves that way. So that'll be 8 specific cuts. Once I get those, I am then going to select, remember I'm using Artisan 5 now, I go to Cut Copy, and I am going to say keep the selected area because that's what I selected, and I'm going to copy it. Now it's important that I copy it and not cut it. Once I copy this, in order to easily know which ones I've already cut and to kind of see the pattern growing, the easiest thing at this point is to go fill that with a color. Any color, it really doesn't matter. You can take something recent or it doesn't matter, just fill it. And now you can see that I've got those perfectly cut for that particular outline. At this point, I am going to go back and select that flattened one. So notice I'm not selecting my color, I'm selecting the flattened one. But see what happens here? I've still got that selection that I made before. So it's important that I go up and say deselect. If I don't, it would give me that layer again when I do my next cutting. So I have to deselect. Now I'm going to go into Wand. I still have adjacent, so I don't need to change anything. And as long as there's a good contrast between your background and your doodle, your threshold somewhere around 25 should be fine. But even if it's higher or lower, it's probably still going to be okay. At this point, maybe what I'll do is this big area in the center. I don't have to zoom at all for that. Now, I am holding down my control key when I make each one of those selections. I say select, cut copy. It's still on keep selected. All I have to do is copy. Once I copy that, I go to fill, solid color. I'll take any color in my recents just to color it something. And then you can see that second color in there. I'm going to do one more cut of this inside area. So here I go back to that flattened one. I deselect. I go to my wand. I'm going to select each one of those big inner areas. Select, cut copy, keep the selected and copy. Go to fill. I'm going to take a solid color again. And there we go. So this now for this layout can be all of my doodly cuts with those 3 different colors on them. Now over here, this flattened one, at this point I'm going to make it disappear so that it goes away. And you can see now why I kept this outline. I'm going to turn that back on so that you can see it. So that's why I copied that outline before. And also you can see why I copied that background, because this is the one with those original cuts on, the original doodle on it that's flattened that we used as our pattern to cut out. But you want to make sure you turn that outline back on so that you can see it. And while that's very pretty as it is, that's actually a really cool look, the outline really finishes it off with the doodly look. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pick my kit. And you know that I work under photos. So since I haven't picked a kit yet, which I should have done so that I had it all handy, but I'm going to go into Pickleberry Pop. And I'll just take this Jumpstart Your January. And I know there are papers down here. So I can just take a bunch of these papers and drag them over into my photos. I think most of you who've watched a lot of my videos know that this is how I scrap. And I was on photos on this page, so I need to go to photos not used in order to see those. Here they are down at the bottom. Now I can start filling these in. So here's my green one in the center. I can fill, I can change the size of my paper to change the pattern size if I want. So if I do this one and I put in a pattern, I can either make it small so that now when I fill that pattern in, those flowers will be one size, or I can enlarge it staying on my cutting board. I don't want to fall off my cutting board. And when I do that, the pattern inside changes to a different size. And notice over here on the left-hand side, I'm making sure that I grab each different one so that I can fill those appropriately. Now I match the kit that I'm going to use. I can turn that group on and I can ungroup it. And it is super easy to just go through filling in each one of my papers, adding any shadows, and getting the exact look that I want to totally match the doodles that I've made. Have fun with this. Again, this set is Jen Yurko at Pickleberry Pop, Doodly Doo. It's our second set. They are so much fun to work with. It really makes a cool customized page, and it's super easy to do in Artisan 5. Have a great day.